So when we saw Halo Studio, we hired a marketer and she told us there's not enough queer people in this world to make you successful. You will not pay your bills. Here we are, bitches.
Hell yeah. And that's one thing I think that we absolutely love. So not only do we like market and try to attract queer couples, but we are a queer couple ourselves.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk all about that. How do we attract other queer couples without just being performative, especially if there are any ally photographers listening in? We're going to share what makes us different as a queer-owned business. So you ready to jump in?
Hell yeah.
Recently, I was on Instagram and I saw an incredible Northwest Arkansas wedding planner, Stardust Weddings. And on their Instagram, they put that they specialize in LGBTQ weddings, but they celebrate all lovers. And I feel like that's really where we are with our business as well.
Yeah.
We really started Hey Love Studio with the intention of working for and with the queer fam. To be clear, that's not always obvious. Some of our queer family are straight passing or are trans or are bi babes. But regardless, if they or their family or their friends are in the queer community or they honor and value the queer community, we want to be at that wedding.
Yeah. And here's the thing also for us that is really important. We've got married ourselves. We are married.
Oh my God, I just got a new ring, you guys. I'm so excited.
But basically, I promised myself I will always put queer people first and on the loudest pages because we are so constantly underserved, underseen, and just attacked by human beings all over. I want to create a space where it's celebrated and it's loud.
Yeah. And so I think what's really cool is we started this in the Dallas area because we didn't really know of many queer photographers. Yeah. And since then, we've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of them. But even then, not every queer photographer is going to be a queer specializing photographer. Like our marketer told us, they've also bought into this notion that there's not enough queer couples for them to live a life. But to be fair, you and I are living, and I won't say thriving yet, but we're getting very fucking close. But we're living thanks to the queer couples and the straight couples who choose to hire us to celebrate their big day.
I want to say there are more and more queer-friendly vendors out there, but it's also becoming now more a thing of straight people just wanting queer money because they want to make more money, which I have a big issue with. There are also queer people within the wedding schmear that isn't necessarily loud and proud to be even who they are.
And maybe because of the trauma that they've been raised in, or maybe because, like us, they were told by somebody who wasn't queer that being queer was going to be detrimental to their business.
Yeah.
And we kind of said,
fuck that.
That was good. That wasn't planned. I liked that. Any case, so there's a couple of things that we do to really showcase not only that we are queer affirming, but that we specialize in queer weddings.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of that is the imagery that we put loud and proud on our website and on our socials.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we do share out some straight or straight appearing couples because we also love them. If they've booked us, you know who you are. But we really wanted to prioritize a lot of our queer couples because we want people to be able to see someone like them when they're looking for inspo for their wedding and their engagement.
Yeah. I want to become the Pinterest for queer weddings.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And we're working on it, so follow us on Pinterest.
Yeah.
So you can see our inspo.
But for me, it's the way that we put photos of the same-sex couples or bi or whatever in the queer community, non-binary, on our homepage.
Hell yeah. It's not buried. It's not a thing you have to dig through to figure out, are we inclusive? Yeah. And that's what's so sad is, especially like in the areas we serve. So a lot of like North Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, like Louisiana, there is a lot of businesses who are afraid to even put that they're inclusive on their website.
Yeah, you should be doing it. And bonus is also the language you choose. We had the fortunate privilege to have an engagement session yesterday at a venue space that I've been dying to shoot at.
Shout out to Crescent Moon here in Blue Ridge, Texas.
And they are affirming, and to such an extent that their marketing team has worked extremely hard to even name rooms randomly, because I much prefer having it the vibe room instead of
The bride room.
or the groom room. They even went away from the getting ready room.
Yeah, they called it the hype room.
Yes, hell yeah. Let's hype each other up. It's a wedding day. It's a celebratory, And I think it's again how your words matches then your
energy,
your photos, your energy, the people you want to invite.
Yeah.
And I think making sure your words are on your website and in your captions are the words that you want to make other people feel welcome and seen. Work hard on it. Make it non-binary, make it celebratory, make it inclusive.
Yeah, it's so funny, but there are still so many queer photographers out there, and of course straight, but there's even queer photographers out there who on their inquiry forms will use gendered language like bride and groom, right? When this day and age, it should really just be partner, right?
Partner one, partner two.
Yeah, and to be fair, we would even love to work with more poly couples or polycules. We haven't really had the opportunity to do that yet, because again, a lot of times, these people don't see themselves represented in the wedding or the celebratory space, and they can feel excluded or judged before they even reach out. And so I think those were some of the big things we really did. I know that also another thing that was really important to us was making sure that we really gave back to the community in different ways.
Yeah.
So one thing we do is, of course, not only specialize and show off like a lot of the queer weddings that we work with, but we also give back.
Yeah. From the beginning, Halo Studio wanted, and Merrick Multimedia, so the other brand, wanted to be part of communities that basically just support humans, And we have been fortunate enough to have volunteered at a lot of big nonprofits that do the work for the queer community, such as Equality Texas and Black Tie Dinner.
And we're also looking at being more involved with other community groups, such as Hairpins, which is a really awesome Arkansas-based queer sapphic group.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we also love doing work with other people in the queer community who might not be doing like weddings and elopements. For example, drag queens. We love supporting our drag queens at all of their different shows and events. Arkansas even has like a bunch of gay drag pageants, which we cannot wait to start being a part of. And just other ways like pride events. I'm really excited because this year we're hoping to go to a couple of pride events as a vendor.
Shout out if you're in Arkansas, especially Little Rock, like the Central, we're going to be at the Black Pride event in June. We're going to be a vendor there, and come say hello to us at the park and
get
celebrate.
A photo.
Yeah.
We're still figuring out the exact way we're going to do that. But like we want to find more ways, especially when we're financially able to give back to our community.
Yes. And the big thing is we try to also support queer businesses outside our own sphere. We go to domestic and buy products from them. Again, sapphic owned
business in Little Rock.
Yes.
Yeah, and El Sur, which is one of our favorite restaurants in Little Rock, is also queer owned. And it's really awesome to us that we get to also put our money where our mouth is. Even when we hire more members of our team, we have great people behind the scenes who are also queer identifying. And that's a big reason why we chose to hire them and work with them, is we wanted to support more queers.
Yeah. And that's a big thing for me is even as a queer person, just because you're queer doesn't make you now the perfect person to be serving the queer community. You still have to do the work, queen. Be a good human, vote for the rights that we need to stay alive, vote for our trans community. Just because we're gay, just because we're married and we can take good pictures does not mean that we're actually affirming vendor until we do the work. And we definitely try to do our best. And if you are not doing that as a vendor, please do better. I'm calling out allies, straights, and gays.
Yeah, if you're marketing to queer couples, but you're not doing the work, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I think one thing that we've started seeing, we're in a bunch of like queer vendor groups. And one thing that's been kind of frustrating for some of the queer vendors is when a client asks for a queer owned business and then gets a bunch of ally businesses commenting. That's actually not being a good ally, because in this case, if a client is looking to spend their money with a queer owned business, you're actually reducing their visibility.
Sit down.
Yeah, there are times where your spaces are not needed. It's similar when people might ask for a photographer from a specific community. As much as I love and value that community, if I'm not a part of it, that's not my time to shine.
There's so many times I was like, don't comment, this is not your time to shine. And it's hard.
It is hard.
Sit down, girl. Sit down. Oh, did you know We've donated over $20,000 last year to nonprofits and services and stuff. And some of that was due to production that was shown at events to
Raise money.
And those amounts are possibly in the millions, I have seen. So just know that we have given about $20,000 back last year, and that has also helped the nonprofit to generate literally millions. It's on their social media how much they've generated. So just know that I'm not saying this for the sake of saying it, but
We have the
fine.
receipts.
Yeah.
We love doing that. We love being like, we have good news. Also, we have the receipts for this good news.
Yeah. I don't want to be the fake news person, you know?
I know, 100%.
Yeah.
I think another thing that really brings us a lot of joy as queer vendors is that oftentimes we're invited to weddings by couples who tell us that we're the only other gay people at their wedding, at least that they know of. So sometimes couples are like, yeah, we're so excited that you can be there because my parents have not seen another queer, like, sapphic couple. You're the second to me and my wife.
Yeah.
So we can't wait for our parents to start to see the normalcy of our relationship. Oftentimes it's maybe not the couple, but it's their family members. I'll never forget one of the first straight couples that hired us, and it was partially because her brother was gay. And she said, I didn't want my brother to be the only gay person at my wedding. We do a lot to ensure that people feel seen and celebrated just by us showing up authentically to who we are.
Yeah. Another way, if you're looking to be more loud and proud without really
Being performative.
Yes, is to list yourself on queer spaces with vendors. So there's a few on top of my head: Dancing with Her, Dancing with Them, both owned by queer people. So just know that you're investing your money again back into the queer community. And then also Everywhere is Queer, an incredible map that's built again by a queer person for the queer people. List yourself there and pay for it. We pay to be advertised, and I'm happy to do that because, one, I'm putting my business out there to showcase that I'm a safe space. I am celebratory of the space that we find ourselves in, but also I'm happy to put my dollars to someone who is in our community and is helping other people find safer
community.
Space. Yes.
Hell yeah. Exactly. And so that's the stuff that we always think about is not only how can we promote what we're doing and it being safe and inclusive, but also where are we spending our money at the end of the day?
Yes.
Just like people make a very specific choice to hire us,
Yeah.
we also make very specific choices when choosing where to list ourselves, where to pay our advertising money, and just overall how to get ourselves out there.
I do want to say something that we do also is we tell real stories of real couples. For me, it's really important also to share real love stories, share real weddings, share real struggles and celebrations and advice, all of these things. There are names attached to the photos. And I think once you do that, you also bring back that queerness without being loud and without being like dramatic, because you're not making up this big story. It's genuinely just two people loving each other and celebrating each other and being proud of that.
Yeah, there's so much to be said for normalizing queer relationships, especially in the wedding space where queer relationships are not typically normalized. Like Addie said, just by showcasing off all the love we get to witness, we're helping people see themselves in our photos and see the kind of love that uplifts them. It's super healing every time we get to be around another queer couple, especially because they're usually so in love.
Yeah.
And that's all we tell them. We're like, we're about to have a lot of fun with your engagement photos. I just need you to be in love. And they're like, oh my God, we love each other. And they start kissing and cuddling. And I'm like, great, you're done, you're perfect.
Yeah.
And it really then I think speaks in our work, the way that you can feel the love and you can feel the celebration. So I'm sure you've heard about this if you're queer yourself, but our queerness does not start and end in June. It extends the entire year.
Yeah.
And so while we do encourage straight and other vendors to like promote that they're inclusive during Pride Month, that shouldn't be the only time you're saying it.
Yeah.
If the only time you're celebrating a community is when the calendar tells you to, you probably don't actually love that community.
Yeah.
We just had Lesbian Visibility Week recently, so by all means, post some of your favorite images that your clients have said, yeah, I identify as a lesbian, I would love that. You do that. But don't just do that and then never post them again.
Yeah.
That's weird.
You can't switch on and off an allyship. Please always be an ally.
Vote for our rights, stand up for our rights if you can, and just overall find ways to support the community.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing you at a Pride event because that's honestly, if you're at a Pride event and you celebrate, I think you're a good egg.
Yeah, I think if you are a vendor who claims to be inclusive and you've not ever gone to a Pride, or you say things maybe like, I don't know if I would feel comfortable going to Pride, I think you're part of the problem. You should feel comfortable being in a space with people of a community that you say that you support and you uphold. If you're not comfortable being in that community and wearing a proud shirt that says ally or I love my gay best friend or whatever, it might be a good time for you to think about whether you're truly inclusive.
Yeah. For me, I just want to remind you that if you haven't been really loud, you might want to be loud at first and then tone it back. But I really want to encourage everyone to just start showcasing at least same-sex or queer couples on your homepage. I'm so fucking tired of people not doing that, but wanting to take pictures of same-sex couples. Like, I'm so fucking over it. And if you're queer and you don't have queer people on your homepage, fuck off. Be better.
It's
Be
weird.
proud. It's just, yeah, any case.
We'll go on our rants, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we truly believe that all people who you claim and want to serve should be represented, obviously, on your webpage and socials.
Yeah.
So, of course, for us, that's going to be a lot of queerness, but it's also going to be like all body types. It's also going to be all skin tones. It's also going to be all these other beautiful parts of our identities and our communities that I can't even just list right now. But that should be celebrated on your page if that's who you want to work with. There's always, of course, reasons why people do model calls and work with couples in order to put that on their page. I get that. I don't think that's always a wrong thing to do, but it needs to be with an intention of showing up more for that community.
I think that's about it for today. I had a lovely chat with you about it. I do think it's important to talk about how to be loud without being performative. And I think it's something that is really missing in the community right now, is making sure that we are consistent and that we are showing up for the people in ways that matters.
Exactly. Anyways, thanks again for listening, and we can't wait to hang out with you next time.
Bye. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today, and hopefully you've learned something.
Yeah, if something really stuck with you today, please consider sharing it with another photographer, videographer, creative. Make sure you hit follow and consider leaving us a review.
And if you love this chaos, please ensure that you follow us on Instagram at Hey Love Studio. This is where we share our BTS, our beautiful queer love, and other couples, and we would love to see you there.
Until next time, keep creating,
Keep celebrating.
and know that, hey, love, we got you.